Before we get started today, I wanted to invite you to support the podcast by liking, sharing, and leaving a review. I also really want to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment or a topic you'd like for us to cover, please send it my way. I'm all ears. Your input really helps to shape the show, so please sound off in the comments, or if you'd like to reach me directly, I will leave my email address in the show notes. Do not hesitate to get in touch. I am your host, Chelsea Carolyn, and today we are diving into sustainable fitness with Evelyn Harper. Would you mind if I ran through some of the kind of, I guess I don't not so much like the fad diets, but the I guess the kind of the diets that are super popular right now that I don't know if people know. I would love to hear from an expert basically on, is it good or bad, or does it work or does it not? And I know we know it's a person to person basic, but just a basic kind of recommendation. So how do you feel about fasting and intermittent fasting?
I'm about it.
You're about
My
it?
short
Okay.
answer is I'm about it. So again, going back to that little 4-week reset, that is part of my, you can get in and listen to my favorite podcast, my favorite people that I like look up to. Dr. Mindy Pels completely changed the way that I guess my habits and how I view mealtime, because
Mm.
there's this philosophy that we need to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that was
Yeah.
such an old fashioned philosophy
Yeah,
where
it's built around the workday, isn't it? It's just to make us all do the 9 to 5 pretty much.
Yeah, and it's basically, if you translate it, it's like when you should take breaks.
Yeah.
So you don't always have to eat during your breaks. So for me, what it did for me was I used to have terrible period symptoms. So the cramping, honestly, the cramping was like, it would take me out for a day, and I am a very, what I would consider, a tough gal. So and I like to push through everything. I think that
Mm.
comes from some of the gymnastics side, some of being the youngest of four, that it's like, no, like, mind over matter, just get it done. But my cramps were crippling to the point where I was like, I had to take Midol, which some people are like, yeah, just pop a pill. I don't want to pop a pill.
No, yeah.
I want to experience the pain. I want to see, like, okay, if I do this, does that work? Does that? So I went on a rabbit hole of trying all these teas and herbs and stuff like that. And every single month I'd be like, oh my God, I can't move. This is miserable. Ugh. And when I started implementing fasting, I mean, no more Midol. Sometimes I hardly
Wow.
know. Yeah. I mean, my period is very regular. I'm not on birth
Yeah.
control or anything like that. Again, I don't like the pills. So I'm very regular. So I know when it's coming, but like, based on tracking it,
Yeah, yeah.
don't know when it's coming based on, like, crippling cramps. So
Wow.
Dr. Mindy Pels is very big about fasting, and I see its value. And I also understand it in a logical way, because it's kind of like having a scab in your stomach. So if you're eating this processed food, or eating too much, or drinking too much alcohol, or anything like that, and it's going in your stomach and it's damaging your microbiome, well, if
Mhm.
you keep doing that and you keep repeating it, you're ripping off a scab, making your stomach vulnerable to the
Yeah.
toxins and the stuff that you're already putting. So give it a break. And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be like, some people will do 7-day fast. I've never done something crazy like that. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
what to do. I'd be interested in doing it, but I'm not there yet. But I'll do like a 24-hour fast every once in a while, and I can talk more about some of the things that I've done. But essentially, I'm about fasting. I'm in support of
Okay.
it. Makes logical sense. It's done great things to me. I've seen it in kind of weight loss. Again, I've got this thin little layer that I've been trying to work through. I've seen that, like, I've seen my abs pop through because of it.
Mm.
So yeah,
And I
check.
mean, culturally, historically, it's nothing new. I mean, fasting has been around. It's in religions. It's all over the world. It's not, it kind of isn't a fad. It's really, if anything, kind of an ancient practice. So there's
Yeah.
not really a lot bad to say with it, but I would say it could probably not be the best for someone who would struggle with ED or an eating disorder, because
Well,
that could link it, or trigger those kind of thought processes again.
which I'm even happy to go down the tunnel of talking about eating disorders. I think that's something important. But touching back on that point of, yeah, it is in religions. It's in, like, the tribal cultures of such like that, is like, if you run out of food, you're in a fast. And then to the point of 7 day fast, they say that you have this crazy amount of energy in day
Mm.
7. And that's when the men would go hunting and such like that. And I know
Wow.
there's the philosophy, well, women shouldn't fast because of hormone levels and stuff like that. Well, it's like, well, where do you think the women were getting their food? They didn't have any food either.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
evolutionary, yeah.
so I'm about that.
Can I ask, when you did fasting to help with your period symptoms, at what point in your cycle would you fast? Would you base it on a point in your cycle?
Yeah, so it is touchy. Um, I say it's touchy in the terms of like there's different levels. So you have your levels of estrogen, your higher levels of estrogen during your period when you're
Mhm.
actually bleeding. And so that's where day 1, day 2 might feel a little groggy, but actually estrogen is kind of like the powerhouse of your hormones. And then you go into when you're ovulating, which is when your testosterone's the highest, which is why you're kind of more in that like, hey honey, where are you type of
Yeah.
feeling. But you're also, because you're experiencing that, like there's that level of confidence where you can take on more stressors of fasting, and
Yeah.
you can take on more like probably creative projects because you're feeling a little bit more like you got some
Oh,
fat.
for sure. I'm hip thrusting 300 pounds when I'm
Yeah,
ovulating. I'm
right.
going crazy up in that gym.
Yeah. And then the last phase being when your progesterone's the highest, that's when you're most sensitive. So that's when you're like, hey, stay out of my way. Don't say the wrong thing. Don't look at me wrong, because you are a little bit more sensitive to things.
Mm,
And so because your cortisol and like other levels are a little bit heightened, that's when I probably wouldn't take on a
okay.
7 day fast or a 3 day fast or maybe even a 24. But I would still kind of stay like, I still, for me, feel comfortable being like pushing back my breakfast, my breaking the fast time.
Yeah, absolutely. We can definitely touch back on eating disorders, and I think my next question almost can kind of lead us into it, which is if we're still just going through diets and what your thoughts on them are. Do you recommend for your clients, and I guess it would probably be a client whose main focus is fat loss,
Mhm.
would you recommend calorie tracking?
No. Um,
Okay.
that no is my quick answer, because when you become hyper focused, that takes a lot of time. That takes a lot
Mm.
of this. It's not sustainable. And
Ah,
if you go
okay.
back to simplicity of the keep it simple, stupid, if you're eating whole foods, you're prioritizing eating fiber. So your greens first, and then your proteins, and then you throw in like a sweet potato or maybe like a half a piece of fruit afterwards or something like that, accompanied with some nuts, accompanied with some nuts, because coach your carbs. Um, but if you're focused and you're kind of figuring it out that way, that's your way of like kind of getting a little pep in your step, creating that autonomy that you can figure it out. When you start getting super hyper fixated on counting calories,
Mm.
you're losing sight of your ability. You can navigate this
Yeah.
without going like all sciency on this. Like you can do it. Like listen to your body. Did that meal make you feel energized, or do you feel more slumpy?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. I find counting calories can often lead you to that little trap at the grocery store of this kind of greenwashing. I don't know if there's a term for greenwashing of like healthy foods, but
yeah.
low calorie foods are often made with ingredients that don't exist inside your house. There's like it's all chemicals.
Yeah.
So to try and strike that balance when counting calories, I think if you're like trying to figure out this 1500 calorie number and then you've got something like what are those little fiber one bars or whatever, all those little things that are like,
Yeah.
oh, a little 100 calorie bar. It's not made of any real food.
No.
So it's not, that's why it's not high calorie.
No, and that's a whole marketing scheme that people found out to trap people and create their little business plan, which kudos to them, but also I'm sure they're not getting their 9 hours of sleep at night, because what they're doing is not just, it's not justice to the people. Like all the, and I don't, want to put to taint too many brands, but the ones where you're like, oh, it's 50 calories and it's a whole pint of ice cream, and then you look at the ingredients, you're like, this isn't real
Oil.
food. Like
Yeah.
this isn't fueling me. These are toxins that you're
It
putting into your body.
literally fuel an airplane quicker than it could fuel me because it's made of like motor oil.
Exactly. Exactly. Go put it in your car. I bet you it'll drive a little faster.
Exactly. That really is a trap that people fall into. Like I did count calories for a little while and it's so consuming, and it's a focus on the entirely wrong thing. The
Yeah.
focus should be the whole foods. That should be your priority. That should where your energy should go to go. Somebody told me once in an interview, stick to the outside walls of the grocery store so you get your fruits, your meats, your dairy, and you're out. That's it.
Yeah,
Don't forget the aisles.
exactly.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, any other diets? What are your thoughts on the keto carnivore movement?
I mean, keto, I understand because it's protein based. Carnivore, again, similar because it's protein. It's really focusing on protein. So I get all that.
Mm,
But it also comes down to I do think you're missing out on like the idea of coding, like the fiber, the nutrients that come from the
mm,
plants. Like there's a reason this stuff was put on our earth.
yeah,
Like I also agree with like there's a reason for everything. So um kind of take advantage of the stuff that grows from the ground and kind of also go back to the people that have done this, the people that were like 2000 years ago. Well, they were
yeah,
growing things. Like that makes logical sense. um
yeah.
so I guess that's where I'm at with that. I'm a balanced type of gal when it comes to like salads and stuff like that, but I do like to take the protein as like the main focus.
Okay, excellent. How do you help people that are dealing with emotional eating or emotional overeating?
Yes, I love this because I think people could listen to me now and be like, this doesn't work. I struggle with this. Well, girl or guy, I was in that boat. I mean, I was a terrible binger, like
Yeah,
embarrassingly bad. And I'm not going into any stories because it was embarrassing. But I get that side. I understand that side where it's like, whether now one side that I don't quite understand is like the super restrictive side because I
mhm.
don't have that level of discipline to restrict like that.
Yeah,
But I've come across people that are, and I think the restrictive side can be just like a little bit, and I don't want to downplay anyone's experience. So
mm,
take all of this with a grain of salt for whoever's listening, but this is just to add perspective to the situation of like people, and I'll touch on each one of the eating disorders because this is what I studied in college too, of health and healing was one of these classes, and it was like breaking down all the eating disorders and kind of seeing it from all different lights. So I would
mhm,
think the restrictive side is a fear of gaining weight or a fear of something,
mhm,
and some of that just comes down to okay, because there's a fear, well then there's a lack of knowing what actually works for you, and you can't figure out what works for you unless you try.
wow.
So
Yeah,
there's that side of things. And then in terms of the binging and the overeating, well, I think people eat for three reasons. You eat to fuel your body,
mhm,
you eat when you're overstimulated, and
okay.
and you eat when you're bored, so you're understimulated. So obviously, fueling your body is the appropriate way to eat.
You're
Um,
hungry. Yeah,
you're hungry. When you're overstimulated, that comes into play when you're at dinner parties. There's a lot going on, holidays, there's this, or when you have a lot of stuff going on with work and you don't know where to start. So, well, something that's easy as you eat, you take a bite,
yeah,
and it kind of resets your brain. It's the same bad habit that comes from if you're smoking a cigarette,
wow.
if you're smoking a vape, if you're drinking alcohol, if you're doing drugs, it's that same stimulus that pulls you out of whatever stressor you're going through quick enough to like a quick little reset, but you're going to go right back into it because
Yeah,
also
yeah,
comes down to that's your top of mind stressor. You have to take the time to address that. So, full circle, you have to take the time to address whatever it is you're working on. So, there's that. And then there's the boredom of you don't, again, kind of similar to this stimulus, you don't really know what to do with yourself or how to even enjoy your own mind. That's one thing that everyone always tells me of like I'll sit there and I'm like laughing by myself and they're like you just are entertained by yourself. And I got to give my parents a lot of credit for that because they were always about like the small little things that can bring us joy. And so yeah, I am entertained by myself, and I think if people were to take the time to sit in their mind, sit in their head, sit in their own little world, they would start appreciating their thoughts too.
Wow, that is such lovely advice. I love that. That's amazing. I really hope somebody heard that, listened when they heard that. I love it. Hey everyone, Chelsea here. I would love to take a moment to introduce you to our app, Yoga Plus. You will gain access to an incredible collection of videos led by top instructors in yoga, fitness, nutrition, and so much more. Download our Yoga Plus app today and get a free 14-day trial.